All right, there's no free will. People talk about if there's free will or not. I am advocating that there's no free will. Here's why. So, if you surrender yourself to God, not my will, but thy will, you give up your life and your ego to the Holy Spirit, your divine connection to Spirit, and every time you have a intuition or a hunch or a nudge or an inner knowing, your inner voice from Spirit, you always say yes. So you always say yes to Spirit, no matter what, no matter how irrational or scary, or maybe you don't really feel like it. You make a commitment within yourself to always say yes, and then the more you do it, the easier it gets, and you want to get to a place where there's no delay. It's not, you feel this call to go do something from God, and you resist, and then you eventually do it, maybe later in the day or something. You want to get to a point where it's in real time, live action, and there's no resistance, or it's not up for debate. So you are one. I and my Father are one. No separation. You have given your life up to God, or you're walking the path of your destiny, God's plan for you. Let thy will be done. And sometimes, and I struggle with this still, sometimes it can be hard to hear what the Holy Spirit wants for you. And the methods that I've discovered work best is, one, you have to be available. Okay? So you have to be open to receiving what God has for you. So be available. And with that, you have to silence the mind. Right? Be still and know that I am God in the Bible. So you have to silence the chatterbox mind. So you have to practice meditation. That way, when you are able to sit in silence, then God becomes really loud, and then you'll know what to do. And then also, the more you do it, the easier and kind of better you get at doing it. Like, for myself personally, I earlier this year, after New Year's, I was extremely high altitude and upgraded my consciousness, and I actually had it where daily I was following the Holy Spirit, and I could tell if I wasn't. It'll become really obvious. It'll be like, I know I shouldn't do this, and God's telling me to do this, and I'm doing what I want to do, the ego, and there's like a huge dissonance, and doesn't flow smooth. It's like you're forcing it. And then when you go with Spirit, it flows effortlessly. That's when doors open that were previously closed. You meet the right people at the right time, synchronicities, so on and so forth. I'll give you an example. So it was like midnight. I was trying to sleep, and then I heard, obviously, go to the gym. Go to the gym. So I went to the gym, even though I think I already worked out that day. And I sat to meditate, and then I started forgiving myself. All these, it was a very natural, spontaneous kind of thing happening. I didn't force it. I naturally started to forgive myself for just bad things that I'd done in the past that I still felt bad about and was holding on to. So that's an example. You know, God wanted me to go do this thing out of nowhere, and then after you do it, then you see why. You're like, oh, that makes sense. Wow, I could have never thought of that. You know, the divine intelligence goes way beyond anything we could come up with. Like when you work for God, God works for you. Anyway, so that's the video about how there is no free will, law of one, there's only one. You just have to be in union and say yes. Thank you. Peace.